Hello and welcome to another tutorial by QuickSite.com. This tutorial is going to go over how to add on a domain name to your hosting account. Again, in an earlier tutorial we went over how to point your domain name to a hosting company's name servers, and before or after you do that, it really doesn't matter the order, but in order for that pointing to take effect and to work so you'll see your site, you need to make sure that your hosting account is aware that the domain name that you're talking about is added on. So let's go into what that is. Assuming you have logged into your Cpanel account, you want to scroll down near the bottom, and there's going to be a section called Domains, and of this you'll see subdomains, add-on domains, park domains, and redirects. Of course we'll want add-on domain, so click that, and when you do it, it's very straightforward, very simple. It's just a couple fields to fill out here, and you basically give the new domain name that you have or that you want to add to this account, and you place it in the first field. Make sure it does not have the http:// it does not need that. Just place the domain.com right there, and we'll go ahead and do that, domain.com. Once you do that and you hit tab, it's going to automatically fill in a subdomain username for that, and then it's also automatically going to create a folder in my public HTML directory of the same name as the domain name. So when I'm in my public HTML file manager, I'll actually see a folder called domain.com for this example, and then you'll have a password. Now the password you can either type yourself, or you can use this password generator off to the right here, and if you do, it'll actually fill in both boxes for you. Make sure that you write that down and remember that, because you won't see it again. And you simply click add domain and you're done. That's it. And as you can see, it'll add it to this list of other domain names it shows to be added on. And again, each one of these are going to be representative by a folder of the same name in your public HTML folder, your root directory. And what makes adding on domain names so nice is that your one hosting account can actually house many domain names, and your hosting cost doesn't have to go up for each domain name that you add. For new people, I find a big misconception is that they think for every domain name they get, they're going to have to pay an additional fee to host that domain name, and that's not accurate. That'd get expensive very quick. Now, of course, there's going to be an annual registration fee with the company that you registered the domain name with, which is pretty nominal and usually on an annual basis. But otherwise, on your hosting account, it typically has a per month fee that is fixed, regardless of whether you have one domain name added on or 100 domain names added on. And typically, if you find a hosting company that limits that, you might be leery of them or steer clear, because it's pretty common to have that feature as unlimited. But that's what you have to do. Once you point your domain name to the proper name servers, either before or after that step, you're just simply going to want to go into the add-on domain icon in your Cpanel and make sure that your hosting account is aware that that domain name needs to be allocated to it, and that there is a folder. Now, it's also important to point out that the folder it creates, we'll just go into the file manager here, it's going to add it into this drop down box depending on what Cpanel theme you're using. But basically, here's my public HTML folder, okay? And if I'm in here, you'll see this .com, this folder name with a .com. These are all the add-on domains, and it's existing along with other folders that exist in my root directory. Well, it's important to understand that each one of these .com folders is basically like its own public HTML folder. And so when you go into it, like landlordnation.com, for example, when I go into this, all these files and folders are all going to be under landlordnation.com. It won't be under, in this case, topgradehosting.com/landlordnation.com. It certainly can be. You can get to it that way, but You don't want people to have to type that into their URL. That'd be pretty cumbersome, and that's also the benefit of what the add-on domain function does for you, is it allows, again, for you to have one hosting account to where the domain name that you add will basically be treated as though it also has its own separate hosting account. But really, you're just using the one hosting account to manage all your domains. So I hope that helped out, and that concludes this tutorial. Thanks for listening.